What's going on, y'all? It's JD Piquel. Today on the Hard Count, we're going to talk about why myself and you as a college football fan do not like realignment. Go ahead, subscribe to the 365 Sports channel. You're not going to miss a thing. You're going to want to be a part of this community going forward as we jump into the college football season. So riffing on that, community. It really is what we get excited about with college football, right? Like, there's a lot of things that you like about college football, but what you love, what makes you keep coming back Saturday in and Saturday out, year in, year out when guys leave, is the community part of it. You went to the school, or you grew up around the school, you love the school, whatever it is. And so that's, I think, what's so relevant and what I think also gets passed up a lot when we're talking about the realignment conversation. Again, if you've been living under a rock, Oklahoma and Texas said, peace out, we'll see y'all never to the Big 12. So we're joining the SEC, more money, less problems. That was basically what they said. And so for the Big 12, for a lot of us that have grown up around Big 12 brands, Big 12 teams, gone to Big 12 game days even, this is sort of a punch in the gut. Because now you're like, okay, well, what's our new normal? I grew up going to watch Baylor play Texas, grew up going to see TCU play Oklahoma every third Saturday. And so now you're like, okay, well, what's our new normal? And just between me and you, we're just having a conversation here. We don't like realignment. I think we like the idea of realignment. It's fun to imagine Oklahoma and Bama playing. It's fun to imagine Texas and Georgia getting after it. But we don't really like realignment because it messes with what we know. It messes with the fabric of what we care about as college football fans, right? And so we're going to just jump into this and vent a little bit. We're going to have a conversation, just you and me, nobody else. We're going to have a little conversation about why realignment is just ultimately not it. Okay, so first off, the people that are calling the shots here and making decisions, they're not like us. They don't watch the game intently. They don't care about the win and loss of their favorite home team. Like, they didn't grow up going to these games. These are guys that only speak the language of money, which is fair. I understand, like, this whole thing runs on money. I'm not naive to that. I understand that it comes down to the greenbacks. They make the calls. I understand that Benjamin Franklin's a very convincing character when it's all said and done. Like, he has a lot to say in this conversation. But what makes us upset about college football fans is that they're not in the trenches with us, okay? They're not there on Saturday afternoons tailgating. They're not living and dying during the week by however the spread looks for your favorite Big 12 team. And so for them to make decisions that directly impact the game, directly impact your experience on Saturdays, it feels a little bit backwards, right? They're not, I mean, we'll take it a step further. A lot of these guys didn't even play college football. So they didn't coach college football either. So the guys that actually impact the game, the coaches, the players, training staff, we'll even say that, even the fans, they're not us. They're not in those shoes. And so for them to be the ones that make those decisions doesn't sit well with me, and it shouldn't sit well with you. So don't take this lie, don't take this narrative that somehow this is going to be better for the playoff or better for the competitive aspect of college football with these super leagues. No, this is messing with what we know and love, and the people that are messing with it have never had a hand in what college football really is and what makes college football special to you and me. Next, I think this has kind of caused us to have some conflict in-house, right? College football has always had conflict in-house. We argue year-round about recruiting, about rankings, about the ways different games ended, even months after they ended. But really, this has given way to a very, how should I say this? This has infected our community, if you will. Because one thing that we love about college football is the healthy conflict, the debates, right? That's something that is kind of our sport, right? Like, I got to play for a long time, loved it, would never trade a minute of it. But right now, we are in the sport, in the competition of discussing this. And this whole realignment conversation has given ammo to everybody thinking they are somehow an expert on a topic that it is relatively impossible to be an expert on. I'm knocking over the mic here. Relatively impossible to be an expert on unless you're behind those closed doors. So there's probably about 40 people in the world that are behind those closed doors, if that. I'm probably being generous there. And for everyone to think they somehow know something or have a report or have insight or heard some whisper that's going to give way to the ultimate truth about this realignment, I think that's bad for us as a college football community, okay? Dream with me here. I was at a wedding not too long ago. It was in Dallas, Texas, and there was someone sitting as the bride and groom were sent off, and he just kind of made the remark to someone next to me. He said, TCU is going to be in the Big Ten. First of all, weird he said that as the bride and groom are leaving. Second, I just, overheard that and wanted to talk to him more about it and said, okay, well, hey, I thought, TCU to the Big Ten. Tell me more about that. What do you think about Iowa State to the Big Ten? In a very condescending way, quickly shot that down, said, no, doesn't make any money. He said it like, doesn't make any money. He said it like that. And I was like, that's weird. And I kind of tried to have a conversation about it. He said, no, I talked to a Big 12, talked to Big 12 personnel. I got the inside scoop. And I was like, okay, one, that's interesting that you have inside scoop. Two, why do you have to say it like that? And I think that's a narrative that has kind of been perpetuated, not TCU to the Big Ten, but just that everybody thinks they know something. Everybody thinks they're an expert. And we've seen that with reports that have been leaked. Someone said not too long ago, there was a report that got out, Clemson and Florida State to the SEC. My heart dropped. I'm sure your heart dropped. Came out that wasn't true. And so for all this he said, she said nonsense, it's completely against what we care about when it comes to the discussion side of college football as fans. And so when you break down a game, you can get to the X's and O's. You can actually break down the film. You can actually talk about lines. When it comes to this, nobody has any idea. So my call to action for us as college football fans of the community, let's all calm down. We're in this together. There's a lot of shift and shaking going on. Let's just be together on this, okay? Let's not all act like we know everything, because I will be the first one to tell you, I know this much about the realignment. I know what I'm reading, and I know what I am hearing from different media outlets, but that's about it, and that's about the same as you. So let's all just take a chill pill and calm down. Finally, and we've talked about this the duration of the video, the tradition. That's what makes this special. Going to games on Saturdays, going to support the team you love. And the realignment reality is that we're throwing the baby out with the bathwater. We're just saying, hey, we got to make more money somehow, some way. To heck with tradition. Those suits, they don't care about tradition. They care about what makes them money, what makes them greenbacks. And for us to have our tradition messed with, that's not something you want to do. That's not something you want to do if you're a suit. You don't want to mess with the very thing that college football fans hold so near and dear to their hearts, the thing that they can look back at old pictures of them with their grandparents, say, man, I remember going to TCU games with them, going to Oklahoma games with them. And now you're going to completely turn that on its head? Don't think you want to do that, and that's another reason why I'm not a fan of realignment. So that's just one man's plea. That's one man's thoughts on this, and I think a lot of them probably line up with the same as yours. If you have other thoughts, if you have other feelings about this, if you think I'm being an idiot and I'm wrong, I'm sure you'll tell me in the comments. I encourage you to tell me in the comments, because that's what makes this so fun. That's what makes this show fun, is that we're able to have a dialogue and we're able to talk about the thing that we all ultimately know and love for the most part, which is college football. So go ahead, again, subscribe, comment, interact. Follow me on Twitter if you so choose. You don't have to. It's a free country. We're going to keep this party rolling. The hard count will be coming when the season starts 5 days a week. Going to be a blast. Going to want you here for it. So we will see y'all then, and we will see y'all next time.